Yeah, here we are. Open Pagan Church. Let's see. Right, bring up Discord. And looks like we got a gaggle of people over in Discord today. Our topic today, Open Pagan Church. I hope everyone is being safe with this crazy times we got going on right now. Um, Hello, Discord.
Hello.
Hi.
Morning. Morning.
Hi.
Morning.
Hi, John. How you doing?
Hi, Dave. How you?
Where you been?
Been staying my butt in the house. That's where I've been.
Reminds me of Bubba.
Bubba Gump. Bubba Gump says all this is a joke. You can go ahead and get outside and die. Go mix it up. Hug up on your neighbor. Spread the joy. What's our topic? Our topic's dealing with chaos. let's, let's deal with a little bit of chaos. What is chaos? Anybody?
Well,
Chaos.
didn't the universe come out of chaos? Chaos was nothingness.
Well, that's a good start.
You
Yeah.
know?
What
And
about
then
chaos
God
and
gave birth to the universe out of chaos.
yeah? But what about
Isn't
chaos
chaos-
and people?
Wasn't chaos absolutely like something came out of nothing and that was the chaos?
Yeah, but what about chaos and people? We know where the universe
Okay.
came from.
Okay. So this is different chaos. But I know, but you didn't specify which chaos.
Oh, I know. See, I'm that way.
I know that, but that's why I brought it up.
Ah, we digress.
I'm ahead of you.
I never digress.
Well, I think what you do with chaos, kind of, is you just sit back and let it go and just watch it like you're watching a movie.
Yeah. Well, there is that. What about everybody else? What do you think? What is chaos for you in your human environment?
Chaos for me is something not normal or not no wait, it's normal, but it's scattered. It's not normal. A normal patterned day, if something like everything, okay, we need to go do this, we need to go do that, we need to go that. It's chaos because you can't get settled in or you can't focus.
All right. Anybody else? Right.
Chaos for me is when things don't line up right in the way I want to do things, or things that need to be in orderly fashion. The chaos is where everything is, like Cindy said, scattered all over the place. You can't grab one thing and hold on to it anymore.
Okay. All right. Anybody else?
Chaos has to be a little more severe.
All right. Debbie says, for me, chaos is everyone else. Yeah. Well, there is that. Yeah. Yeah. Well, okay. So, if we figure chaos is run amok, everybody has gone, to coin a phrase, BSC, so to speak. Life is chaos. We find calm in chaos, but then we run into a situation where we become a part of the chaos. Maybe we're not thinking about our actions and our reactions. Maybe we're not thinking about cause and effect when we say or do something or don't do something we should be doing, or don't say something maybe we should be saying. It's always been my interpretation, if you will, or idea of chaos is like, like you guys have said, something that is outside of the norm. But if we start talking about things that are outside the norm, then we have to decipher what is normal.
Morning, Deb.
And trying to decipher what is normal takes us down a great big nasty rabbit hole of what's normal to whom. You know, my normal is, I hope, not somebody else's normal. Bless their heart, my normal is bad enough for me. Right. Kind of. Ish.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Yeah.
All
Oh,
right.
right.
Debbie says for her, chaos is everyone else's.
Well, yeah, that's what I said a while ago. Hmm. Afternoon, Debbie says.
I'm quick to say that, yeah.
So, therein lies a possible description for chaos. Chaos is as individual, as individualistic, if you will. Um, Chaos is as individualistic as normal is. My chaos that I deal with on a daily basis, somebody else may absolutely find as normal. My normal that I enjoy on a daily basis, somebody else may idealize as chaos. Case in point, back in the early 2000s when we actually had the group, down south, we I was accused of being addicted to chaos because everybody thought we were absolutely crazy.
I remember that.
Well, we had a ball.
Yeah, we had the chaos in the circle just for the fun of it.
Well, but everybody asked me how I could take 75 or 100 people and put on a calm, balanced circle. Well, the answer is relatively simple. Um, we did feast before circle, got everybody's bellies full. Nah. We did drumming during feast, which allowed everybody to get the chaos and the dance and all of that out of their system. And then when we got down to the business of circle, most everybody had a full belly, I hope. They were relaxed for the most part and ready to get down to the business of circle. And then everybody always knew after circle there were generally leftovers. So we'd eat a little more, we'd drum a little more, and we'd dance a little more. So I think the whole point is you have to understand how to give people space for their chaos. And I mean, herein lies part of the problem, if you will, for a lot of mainstream modern day societies. They don't understand how to put up controlled chaos. Let people be who they are. Let people do what they're going to do. Set up boundaries and cut them loose. What do y'all think?
Well, like we said, on our teachings from people, there's people that live in chaos. That's just their life. They can't deal regularly without chaos. We know, yeah, We know a few people that way that we just, we're here for you. Live your life in chaos.
Yeah. And when life, oh hell, when we were growing up, we were always told if life gives you lemons, make lemonade. Well, if we don't understand how to balance chaos and calm, and we try to only live in one extreme or the other, we end up becoming so far out of balance that it's really kind of hard to come back from that. And for a lot of people, not living in an extremist lifestyle is hard because society, over the last several thousand years, society teaches extremist behaviors. You know, it's either black or it's white. It's good, or if it's not good, then it's bad. You know, you're either going to go to heaven or you're going to go to hell. There's no in between. Well, that sets up a pattern in the human psyche of extremism. Chaos plays on that extremism. Chaos comes from unknowing, right? If we approach a situation that we don't understand, and that situation seems to be really, really busy and a whole lot going on, we tend to call that chaos. Well, then the control mechanism kicks in for human beings. Now, anybody stop me anytime if you've got a better description. But when you walk into a situation that is absolute pandemonium, which to you, or to me, might be absolute chaos, complete uncontrolled environment, then human beings have this mechanism that wants to kick in, that puts us in control. It makes us, want to think we have to control the situation. Dave, I see your light lighting up over there. Do you want to say something, bro?
No, I was just testing. I got off the web-based and I went over here and it's telling me, do I want to switch to my Realtek or do I want to switch to Foscarite, which is one, but anyway, whatever, I'm good now.
Right, no worries.
Just wanted to make sure it was working.
Yeah, you sounded good. So, I think the question comes down to, when everything starts running amok and everything starts going crazy, and we walk into a situation where it's an absolute crazy, chaotic, uncontrolled situation, how do you, or how would you handle that? I mean, I know how I handle it, but with my training, I'm trained to handle it. So, but how would somebody else handle it? An uncontrolled, seemingly uncontrollable situation.
I would distance myself as much as I could, even if I had to be involved you know, in whatever situation it is, I still would try to distance myself as much as I could and just kind of stand back and put it in perspective so I don't get absorbed in it.
All right.
There's a difference. Depends on the situation of the chaos. If someone needed help, I would step in and say, "Hey, calm down. What's going on? You know, do you need to focus? Uh, are you in danger? Do you need help?" I would have
Okay.
to look at the situation. See what's.
All right. Next.
Try
Anybody?
to give it as little energy as possible.
Oh, well, there is that. We don't want to feed it. Anybody else got input?
Looking at what is going on, like I said, stepping back, but also be part of it in a way so you can understand what is going on during that chaotic time.
Okay. All right. So one of the things I'm hearing, and if anybody else had any input, let me know. One of the things I'm hearing is sit back and watch for a moment. Observe. Debbie says to be honest, unless I had to deal with it, I'd walk away. And in many cases, I absolutely agree. There are many cases if I particularly don't have to be in a situation, depending on the chaos, I'll just be like, nope, don't want none of this. But also, for the most part, a lot of times, being in the situations I've been in the past and in the different forms of jobs and careers and what have you, I've been in the hard, cold mix of chaos. Absolute pandemonium mix of chaos. And at the same time, where it comes down to is usually, depending on the situation, I'll walk in and find a corner. With certain forms of training, you find that two walls at your back in a corner is your best friend. So, in every situation of chaos I've ever been involved with, got involved with, or, what can I say, involved myself with, I find a wall. Well, I find myself doing that with life as well. And this is kind of where I was going to this whole conversational situation here, is dealing with the chaos of life. I find myself a wall, and I watch. There are some times in certain situations in life, you've only got a couple of quick seconds to assess the situation and make a decision whether or not you're going to act, react, or step away from the situation. Me and my craziness, I tend to act. But then again, I'm one of them crazy idiots that runs towards gunfire instead of away from it. What can I say? Or generally, I might run sideways to the gunfire and try to come around behind it. But anyway, that's a topic for discussion. I don't want.
Oh my goodness, let's see it. It's a coon ass.
Where'd he go?
Oh, you guy.
Oh, it's a Lester. Lester has seen some of my reactions to absolute bona fide uncontrollable chaos.
Yeah, you could say so.
Remember, it's a family channel.
Yeah. Y'all will forgive me if I mute myself. For some reason, I've been having sinus problems, and I'm coughing a lot.
Right there with you, bruh. If it wasn't for Zyrtec, I'd have done been dead a long time ago.
Oh, Zyrtec is, it's not doing anything for me, bro.
There's a lot of people that I hear that from lately. Zyrtec just don't work.
I take it religiously every night before I go to bed and every morning when I wake up.
Ooh, damn. You're a two-timer.
Yep.
And only once a day is good for me.
It's I guess it's all this tree falling and stuff.
Yeah, all these storms coming through, man. It's that time of year bringing stuff in.
Yep. Right now we sitting under a tornado watch.
Yeah, a lot of that going on too.
Well, it's still 3 o'clock.
Well, see, herein again lies to make a point. We live on a daily basis in chaos. The situation of, the weather. I mean,
Okay,
go ahead.
Don, lead texting Discord. I'm actually learning here it is possible for someone to be naturally adapted to chaos. Like taking what the chaos brings and making it your new normal.
I've heard of that.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, I've been in the computer industry since, oh my God, 94? Yeah, 1994. And before that, I was in the automotive sales industry. So anytime you're in a situation where you're dealing with other people, you're living and working the chaos. And it becomes the new norm.
But there are some people out there that actually feed off chaos.
Well, yeah, there is that. We've known people through the years that proclaim vampiric covens that admit and live for and love feeding the chaos. Feeding off of the chaos. Excuse me.
I hate chaos.
Right. I seem to have lost the text view on Discord. I can't see what anyone's typing. It all looks like pictures.
You probably have to reformat.
What?
Not reformat, restart your program, sorry.
I'll do that later. Anyway, if anybody text anything in Discord, let me know. So, but yeah, it's kind of another place we were going to go is, when does chaos become normal? Well, job. Me, for example, 2.5 years ago, I went from taking 50 to 75, on our entire desk, we went from taking 10 to 15 to 20 calls each a day and doing, full line remote service repair. We went from that to taking 40 to 50 plus calls each person a day, and being a call center where the chaos of it is take the call, kick the ticket, take the call, kick the ticket. And I mean, when you're working in the medical industry on a call center, there's no time. And most especially during the influx of this disease, our call queue has turned into absolute pandemonium. So you know, for about the first week, I walked around wound up tighter than Dick's hat band, and it eventually just, the chaos becomes the norm, and you have to make a choice: deal with it or quit.
Well, I got a question here. If chaos is, if you're getting chaos towards you, like I seem to be some sort of magnet towards it, but if it's coming towards you and you ground every time it comes at you, is there some sort of natural conduit thing going on?
Yes and no. Yes and no, from my point of view anyway. There are, in my experience, there are some people out there that uh, attract chaos. Okay, and there are some people out there that naturally repel chaos. It's always been I've had people tell me that um, I am an absolute magnet for chaos. I mean, hell, I can walk through a grocery store and get in trouble. I can walk through a grocery store and draw chaos my way and not even say anything to anybody. It finds me. Well, we can get into grounding, um, grounding those energies. We can get into repelling, which requires way too much energy to repel. Or we can get into be the window. And what I mean by be the window is just let it pass through. Don't try to ground it. Don't try to stop it. Don't try to repel it or anything like that. Just become a part of the cloud, so to speak. Just let it be what it is. Now, again, that's coming from the standpoint of my particular path. How different paths are going to handle it is up to them and their training. But when it comes to being a magnet for chaos, yeah, bless your heart, I feel your pain. So, what kind of brings, what do you feel brings that chaos to you?
Oh, I think some people just look at me and say, hey, I can talk to this person and I can dump all my crap at this person and they can fix it.
So we have another empath in the group.
Yeah, we do.
Yeah, you know, those of us that can sit on an acreage, do really nothing, and people seem to come out of the woodwork and go, you can help me, I was sent to you. And you sit there and you're like, well, shit.
Right?
Well, I mean, we do what we do because it's who we are. The important thing is how we determine whether this is chaos that is our responsibility to handle. Is it our responsibility to help them deal with that chaos? I can tell you it is never, ever, never our responsibility to become or carry their chaos for them. I've dealt with people through the years that feel like it is their responsibility to fix people and carry their chaos for them. And all admittance, that would be probably me in the late 90s and early 2000s. Shut up, Lester.
But we're not gonna go there. That's another subject and another time.
Donna's not an empath. Donna's just a fool.
I mean, well, that has been said. Yeah, that has been said. Yeah,
A glutton for punishment.
that too at times, sometimes I think. But you know,
But there is some people that, like I said, there's people that function on chaos.
well, they live for it. But they put themselves in the middle of it.
I can't do that anymore. I used to be like that when I started out. I'm like, okay, I need some chaos. I can do this. It's like it's like a endorphin high.
It seems like a lot of bipolar people like chaos.
Oh, boy. All right,
I like
all right. Let's have a
got that
raise
right.
a hand. How many of us is bipolar here?
No, but
Yeah.
my daughter is, and she lives in Memphis, and she lives for chaos.
Yeah,
My stepdaughter is chaos. Yeah, she's bipolar.
I mean, you're looking at a guy here that traveled the Renaissance circuit for years as the Renaissance drummer. Our group pretty much led the drum circles, and you want to talk about absolute chaos. Get 100+ people in a drum circle. Yeah, that's just fun. I don't think I could do it today, but I mean, I could sit out there and drum.
See how something that is enjoyable is chaotic.
That's
Well-
ordered chaos, bro.
Yeah. Yeah. But, you know, dealing with chaos is also not a bad thing. I mean, humans learn from chaos. Humans, contrary to some people's popular belief, humans are social creatures. Humans, go ahead.
I think if there was absolutely magically no chaos ever, people would think they were dead.
I think we would die, period. We would, you know, people have absolutely died of boredom. Truly.
What's happening now?
Yeah, well, you know.
Point me to my hole, bro. Point me to my hole.
Well, I mean, that is, I think, next week's topic. I think. Is it next week's topic?
Which one? What?
Living with quarantine.
Yeah.
I think,
is, I
I think
think.
it's next week's topic. But I mean, you know, starting that, you know, getting ready for that next week's topic with dealing with chaos is we become accustomed to whatever environment we've either been put in. Damn, Lester, hock it up, bruh. You be alright.
It had to come out.
Hey, Lester, get that hairball out.
Oh my God, I'm gonna die. No. Where was I?
Not before me.
I
My
digress.
apologies, guys.
Nah, no, you're fine. I mean, what the hell was I talking? Oh, Chaos that we find ourselves put in, the chaos that we put ourselves in, chaos that the cosmos says, here. And then there's the training chaos that I know I can speak for those who have gone through our shaman tradition. Chaos is a part of their training. And quite honestly, chaos is a part of life. You're not going to escape it. You're not going to hide from it. Because if you hide from one form of chaos, another form of chaos will just find you. If you hide from life chaos, it's going to find you. You can't hide from it. So
Mathematicians like the chaos theory, though.
the chaos theory is an interesting theory to look at. If those of you watching our broadcast have never heard of the chaos theory, Google it, look it up. It's an interesting read. It really is. I found it highly interesting. Learned a lot from it. I'm not sure how much of it I cater to, really. But that's like with any theory, it's a theory. You take bits and pieces from it and go on from there.
Some people think the weather is chaotic because it's always, but I don't think it's chaotic at all.
Well, the weather's doing what the weather does.
Right. But like mathematicians think that it's chaotic, and it's not.
Weather is nothing in the world but a event of cause and effect.
And there's so many people that are so paranoid of the weather, and it's the people that watch the weather being dissected on the nightly news, you know. And I can't stomach it. I can't listen to it. You know? That's chaotic to me. Just to sit there and listen to a talking head dissect something that doesn't need to be dissected.
Right.
That's chaotic.
And see, for me, I like the science of weather. Always have. They can predict by jet streams what highs and what lows, temperature caps, whether a cap is going to break down and allow a storm or not. So, but I've never seen weather as chaos. I've always seen weather as a series of events brought on by cause and effect. You know, if this, then that. You know, if the conditions are right, you have a hurricane. Hell, I grew up in Hurricane Alley. The sheer amount of freaking hurricanes we had to rebuild after was unbelievable. People in Arkansas and Oklahoma and some places in Tennessee in Tornado Alley. You know, I would imagine Lee could tell you some pretty hair-raising, hairball stories about weather.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, I don't see weather as chaos. But that does bring up a good point. Can we call cause and effect chaos? I mean, when you look at cause and effect, okay, well, if I do something that has an effect, that causes an effect, and that effect becomes chaos, then the answer, I guess, would be yes.
It would have to be the level of the effect.
Yeah,
Now, you can cause a hurricane, but to what degree?
right. I'm not that good. I don't play with weather. I know.
I do.
I know too many people that play with weather. I don't jack with weather.
I do a little bit. I don't do it like keep storms away or stuff like that. That's no. That's too much Mother Nature.
Yeah, I don't think it's good because, you know, if you're gonna dance, you gotta pay the band.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, true.
Yeah, been there, done that. Played with weather one time, and it ended up being a absolute cluster. Yeah.
Yeah, and I've heard people before at gatherings and stuff, and these fluffies saying, "Oh, we were doing spells on the weather. We were doing," you know what I mean? It's like, really?
Well,
Okay, I'm sorry. I digress. Okay, there you
well,
go.
you know, it's chaos.
It just pisses me off.
Right.
That's what it does. That stuff pisses me off. I'm like, how stupid are you?
Well, therein lies the answer to the question.
Well, yeah. So why even say anything? It's rhetorical.
Well, I mean,
Why point out the obvious to the ignorant? That's what I say. That's my.
well, now I have a theory to that, pointing out the obvious to the ignorant. Well, you know, Debbie's got an actually good point. She says, I ask for preferred weather patterns for big events. And the key word, ask. Ask. You know, hey, it's just like when we go to council, it's just like when anybody prays, cast, whatever. I don't recommend anybody order the weather or gods to do anything. But anyway, I digress on that. I have a theory about pointing out the obvious to the ignorant. Yes, we do, and that's okay. My theory of pointing out the obvious to the ignorant, especially if it's done in a especially if it's done in a video or broadcast setting, because there may be actually somebody that listens to it or that watches it that'll get it. You know, they'll be like, all right, great. But chaos, and we're almost 15 minutes past the hour. Let's think about some of the good things for chaos, right? I mean, we always cover, you know, we like to cover the different aspects of a particular topic. The good, the bad, or the bad, the crazy, and the good. And I like to finish up our broadcast on a good note. If we embrace chaos, we let chaos be what it is. The truth is, the only possible chaos I might have any control over at all is my own personal chaos. I can't and don't want to try to control someone else's chaos, because I firmly believe that through chaos do we find balance. And the only way you can have balance is to have good and bad, chaos and calm, happy, mad, or happy, sad, or whatever. You see where I'm going. You have this balance, and human beings have, seek, want, embrace, need, whatever, balance as a norm. There are some human beings out there that don't want balance of any kind. That's okay. That's their norm. There are people out there that get absolutely messed up over chaos. It's okay. That's their norm. We have people out there that create chaos because they live off of chaos. That's okay. That's their norm.
Not if it's impeding on the freedom of other people.
Well, no, I agree. But at the end of the day, it is what it is. I mean,
People who want to cause chaos just to get a kick out of irritating other people or making other people miserable don't seem to understand that you can't reach inside someone and hold something you can't touch. You cannot control somebody inside. You can't control something you can't see. But people like that, there's always going to be people like that. You could chain somebody to a wall in a castle and starve them and torture them, but you can never reach inside someone and change how they feel about anything. You can't make them think a certain way. You can't do that. You can't control anybody. But people that thrive on chaos, they don't seem to get there. They don't care, And it seems like a big waste of damn energy and time when they could be helping somebody instead of causing chaos. But they get off on it.
okay. But is it not my responsibility? Let's say someone is attempting to, again, still some more, someone is attempting to produce, increase, engage chaos in my world.
Well, some people, it's just not a good idea to try to create chaos too.
Well,
You know what I mean?
but when
So-
people,
So if they get burned, they get burned. That's
well, see, here's the thing. People who are going to do that, they don't care if it's a good idea or not. The point I'm trying to make is, it's my responsibility how I act or react, or do act or don't act upon other people's actions. At the end of the day, it's what it all comes down to. The whole point to the whole thing is, chaos is a natural way of everything. It's a natural way of the universe. It's a natural way of humanity. It's a natural way of the human and the animal population dealing with chaos. It is what it is. Chaos essentially is a simple word that was developed to explain the things that humans notice that run amok, for which there really isn't a description for yet. So, here's my thought, for what it's worth. When you're dealing with chaos, and let's say you happen to be maybe a conduit for chaos or whatever, it's up to you how you deal with it. Now, there are a number of groups out there like ours that, people can talk to and say, hey, how do you deal with this situation? Can you help me deal with these situations that come to me on a daily basis? sure, we'll give it a shot. But at the end of the day, chaos is going to be what chaos is. And the topic of dealing with chaos is just exactly what it is. There really is very little control for chaos. It's more dealing with it and learning how to live with it and embracing it for what it is. We can either try to walk away from it. Well, there are certain types of chaos that are going to follow us. We can hide from it. There are certain types of chaos that will find us. We can ignore it. Well, there are certain forms of chaos that will grow to the point where it's unignorable. Or we can just see it for what it is and make a decision whether or not we personally, myself or you, want to give it power. What we do with it. Well, guys, listen. Open Pagan Church, we're here every Sunday that we can. We really enjoy y'all coming around, and we look forward to hearing from you. Has somebody had something?
Yeah, don't forget to like the button on the feed. So like and love the button so we'll get some notice on Facebook.
Yes, like, love, hate, comment, don't. Hope you enjoy. Well, look, guys, we're going to go bugger off and we're going to get ready for Live with the Shaman. You all are welcome to join us there if you wish at 11 o'clock Central Time. That's a.m.
Buggering sounds chaotic.
Yeah. Embrace that chaos. Hug it. Right. You guys have a great day. We'll see you next time here on Open Pagan Church.